Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you, powerful leaders. So happy, so overjoyed to be here with such powerful, powerful, amazing, awe inspiring beings who are here to lift the veil of darkness into the light and to bring joy, happiness, love, healing, transformation, prosperity, and true love foundation here on earth for all. Again, for all. Exactly. No one left out. Because that is the key, truly. So I'm so excited. For those of you who are new to 30 Days Strong, this is day 17 of 30 Days Strong. And we have been going strong, haven't we? Yes, we have. We have been going so strong and keeping strong and being powerful and staying lit and keeping Pop Rock's energy all around us every day because we are lit leaders. That's right. We are lit leaders of intelligence and knowledge that is activating higher levels of truth and understanding within our technology and the technology of the earth and all the people on the planet. So this is so exciting. So first thing I just want to acknowledge for all of you. Thank you all for showing up for yourselves and loving on yourselves and giving to yourselves blessings and love and grace and beautiful words for the soul. Thank you for bringing so much love to you. That is a wonderful thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for loving on yourself. Thank you for blessing yourself. Thank you for honoring, seeing, and valuing yourself. Because that is the greatest gift you can give to each and every one of us on the planet, right? Is to love, bless, and honor yourself. Tell yourself the most beautiful things. Wake up and tell yourself, I love you. 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 Because that is how it's supposed to be. Because when you do that, you are connecting into every living thing on the planet. You are giving the energy that creation is asking for from you, which is to be seen and to be loved. And when you love on yourself, you love on creation. Isn't that amazing? Because the greatest way to show the creator that you love creation is to love on yourself. So when you love on yourself and you love on your brothers and sisters and you love on the trees and you love on the flowers and you love on all the babies and all the bees and all the animals and everything around you, the sun, the moon, the sky. You know, in shamanism, a lot of times people think, oh, we're evil and we're dark because, they think, oh, witches are evil and dark because they're dancing under the moon and doing sun rituals in different cultures. And they were loving on those things. What is wrong with dancing and celebrating and jumping up and down because you truly love creation? You love creation. And that's how you do it, right? And so when you recognize that and you step into that space of realizing that you should be dancing, we should be dancing all the time. There should be music in different areas of cities and streets and places where people can go just to dance. I mean, that is a part of the tribal cultures to dance, come together in community, and commune together as brothers and sisters, right? And so we want to give love to everything, give love to the darkness, give love to the light, give love to the animals, to the people, to everything. And that is how we love creation. And anyone ever tells you to not love someone or be mad at someone or judge someone, that's because they don't love creation enough. Okay? They need to be elevated and they need to be lifted and enhanced. We have to enhance them by showing them this is how you love creation by loving what creation created. So I'm super, super duper duper, duper, duper excited for you to be here for day 17 of 30 Days Strong. And 30 Days Strong is about leveling you up and giving you the tools, the lit tools, right? Tools that you don't just go around and find, but tools that you're given that I'm sharing with you, shamanic tools to up level your life and show you how powerful you are. Because remember, the key element for us to be able to thrive is for all of us to be in power, right? That means each and every one of you, I hold you to yourself. I hold you to yourself. That means to thyself be true. I love those words, those scripture words, to thy own self be true, because the understanding of self and recognizing that when you are leveling up, loving on yourself, nurturing yourself, doing what's right for you, you are actually doing what's right for all of us. And that's a blessing. So every time I see people, I'm like, thank you for loving on yourself. Thank you for nurturing yourself. Thank you for speaking words of awe and grace to yourself. And thank you for believing in yourself. Thank you for believing in possibility in yourself, because that is how we level up our world. That's how we level up, right? So you're not going to get anyone woke. You're not going to woke anyone, right? If you are going at them by pointing out all the horrible things that they are, because you're just giving energy and light and frequency to that, and then that goes, eats it up, and then grows, right? And so you're just feeding you're feeding the illness, okay? And like when people talk about like don't eat sugar because sugar feeds cancer, well, it's the same thing. Every time you point out things to people without leveling them up with love, like, so let me give you an example. If you were to say, when to tell someone something, you say, because I love you, because I know how powerful you are, because I know how wise you are, and because I know that you always want to continue to evolve, and I love that about you, I wanted to share this, and this with you. Because see, what happens is when you set it up, when you preset the conversation with the acknowledgement that God is within each person, creation is within each person, source is within each person, you are then creating a conversation of leveling them up. You're taking them up, you're enhancing them. You're not looking at the cup as empty, but you're seeing the cup as full, and you want to fill it up even more, because we want to fill the cup up so much that the overflow of goodness and happiness and joy and freedom and prosperity flows to all the people through the overflow, right? So the whole key is always to cup filled, not empty. And that goes for everything. If you're a person who's a psychologist or a healer, or if you are a doctor, or if you are an artist or whatever, you never go into the dun 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 lower, like cup is empty, not believing in that person, waiting to see if you can believe in them. You have to shift gears to seeing the cup filling up already. So when someone comes and sits down with me, which means they're really sitting down with themselves, because I'm just like a blank canvas and I'm just throwing things at them to show them how to level up their powers in sessions. When they are sitting down with themselves with me, I already know how powerful they are by the moment they show up in that session. I already know that they are masters and leaders the moment they show up in that session. And so all I'm really doing is going like, oh, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Remember this? Remember this? You remember this, right? Okay, here, use that. You remember this tool? You remember that tool? Oh yeah. You can use that. Yeah. Do you remember that? Take a look at it. Take a look at that tool. Take a look at that knowledge. You remember that, don't you? I know you remember that. I remember that. Come think on it. You remember that, don't you? You do. Yes, you do. Do you remember heaven? Do you remember? Here, let me remind you a little bit. Okay, let me bring an energy in your body. Do you remember that? And then they're like, oh my God. And then, yeah, do you remember that? It's like what we're doing basically is helping them to remember what they already know. This is like, this isn't about like you're learning something. I'm teaching you things that like are so new and whatever, like, okay, I mean, you can believe that if you want to think from a matrix point of view. The key element is knowing that all I'm actually doing is going, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? Do you remember that power? Do you remember this? Do you remember Remember in Atlantis? Do you remember in that lifetime? Do you remember in Egypt? Do you remember in this lifetime? And do you remember Mesopotamia? Do you remember in Lemuria? Do you remember the time in Anunnaki? Do you remember? Do you remember this? Right? It's not, oh, I'm this all-powerful shaman. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And you're like, people who are learning? Absolutely not. Never, ever, 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 think that you are learning something. You are not learning something. You are remembering. That's it. You are remembering. Okay? Don't ever, 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 ever put me above you. The days of worshiping the calves are over. Okay? I don't know if you ever read the story on the mountain, and like breaking the 10 Commandments and seeing the golden calf. Like that's done. That's done. This is not about that anymore. Do you understand? So whenever you do anything, so like whenever you see a number show up or someone shares some information with you or whatever, don't look at the cup empty as if you didn't know. Remember, you're just remembering. That's it. When we leave heaven, we go to the beach of remembrance. And when we walk away, when we go into the stargate to choose our to come into the body as a spirit while our mother is gestating us in her stomach, and all the electrical, the neurological system and the endocrine system and all the electrical fields are operating enough for us to bring our spirit into this biological spacesuit, we step away from the beach of remembrance to wash our memory away of heaven so that we can fully take presence here on earth. So we can fully embody that this is my mom, this is my dad, this is my grandparents, this is my clothes, this is how I look, these are my eyes, these are my ears, these are my things, right? So that you can fully, and that's why you have an ego. Your ego's job is to keep you grounded in this reality. So whatever you say, the ego has to make real for you. So you believe the world you're walking in. So you don't go like, whoa, that's not what I believe. And I'm out of here. Because it's like this cosmic unraveling inside of you, and you won't stay in this body because you don't believe that what you're saying is showing up. So when you say life is scary, the ego has to make sure it brings all those scary things to you so you can be right and your narrative of truth is played out. But it's never empty, okay? And I really, 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 really want you to remember that. It's not about you don't have this information or you can't do something that I'm sharing with you. I'm not teaching you, okay? I'm not teaching you. Can you remember that? I am not teaching you. I am helping you to remember. I don't want to start crying right now because reason why I came back from the other side was not to teach you, was not to lead you, was to help you to remember who you are. I could have stayed in heaven when I died in my 20s. I could have stayed. But when I got there and I was swimming and hanging out with my friends and family and turning myself into sound waves and flying like a hawk in the sky and turning myself into whatever I felt I wanted to play because it's a giant playground, and they asked me, do I want to stay and come or go back? If you read the Spirit Hacking book, I tell you about that. I chose to come back, not to be your superhero, not to be your messiah, not to be anything that's above you. I came for one reason: to remember who you are. So no more of this I'm learning nonsense. No more of you kicking back and acting like you have no knowledge and information. You have, like, your technology that runs through your being is so huge and so powerful that all we are doing All we are doing, all the angels and the masters, ascended masters, earth spirits, nature spirits, the trees, all they're doing is saying, remember. Do you remember this? Do you remember that? That's it. That's why you don't have to argue with people to get them to change. If they don't remember, give them time. Time is fair, forgiving, and revealing. It gives you the opportunity to make different choices. Give them time. Clarity shall come upon them when you put it in front of them, even in your own life. You are no more learning. You are remembering. Can we acknowledge that truth, please? Because when I was in prayer last night, I had people writing me on Instagram and writing me in social media and being like, thank you for teaching me this and thank you for teaching me that. And I sat in my room and I was listening to my elders and they said, why do they keep saying you're not teaching them? I said, I know. They said, you have to bring this up tomorrow in your 30 days strong. You have to let them know that you are not teaching them. You are sharing. Do you notice on the podcast, I don't say show, the ancient wisdom today show, because it's not a show, it's a share. And you notice that I never tell you that I'm more powerful than you or any of these things, because I'm not. Because if you put something above yourself, you go back to worshiping the golden calf. You go back to looking for something to save you. You have to remember, my darlings, that this isn't a teaching. This is a remembrance. Okay? I just wanted to share that with you because my grandmother and my grandfather and all of us were having this deep conversation last night. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to share it because I think it needs to be heard that this is not a teaching. This is a remembrance. So every time I share something with you, I'm just shaking in front of you and going, do you remember this? Do you remember this power you had? Do you remember this in Atlantis? I remember you. So do you remember? Do you remember me? Do you remember? You know, sometimes people don't realize that when they say like, oh, it's so nice to meet you, Shaman Durek. I'm like, it's good to see you again. Would you think you met? You think you're meeting me for the first time? I remember you. I remember all of you. So the thing is that this is a remembrance, my darlings. Okay? I love you. It's a remembrance. Okay. So today, in 30 Days Strong, day 17, we are going to be talking about the bull. Okay? Now, I don't know if a lot of you know about the bull. Okay, but the bull in shamanism, especially in African shamanism, represents the place where your organs, so it's basically underneath your rib cage, okay, all the way down to your lower pelvic region that goes beyond your navel area, down into your almost to your pubic bone, okay? And this is known as the bull, okay? And why is the bull so important? I'll tell you why. If you were ever cut or you were losing a lot of blood, all your blood would go to protect the bull because the bull is where all of your major organs are. Okay, where your major organs are, that means that every time you access energy and frequency, it first goes into your bull. Now, a lot of cultures, like for instance in Hindu culture, in Sanskrit, they call it the solar plexus. Okay, we call it the bull. Why? Because you can ask the elders to pour into your bowl. So think of your bowl like a bowl, right? And all your organs are sitting in there. And this is like a very powerful place. And the elders can pour things into it and drop powers into it and new forms of abilities. And all of a sudden you wake up and you have ability to see possibility of people's choices, or you can see auras, or you can see all of these things. That's because you're being filled in your bowl. That means the elders and spirits feel that you have become humble enough and willing enough to let go of control and the need to be right and into a place of grace and into a place of humbleness and humility. That means that this isn't trying to be, I'm the right game and you're the wrong game, okay? We don't play in shamanism the right and wrong game. What we do is we acknowledge that everyone's information is valuable and necessary, because there could be places that I don't see that you see. And let's say I go on a journey and I see a portal in a tree and you see some glittery thing in the branches. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, there's no glittery thing in the branches. There's just a portal in the tree. You don't know because I'm Shaman Durek and that's the way it is. That is not how we help people to remember. We help them to remember by acknowledging the glitter in the tree just as much as the portal that's there, right? So we have to be open to all of the different stories, right? Because some people may see something that's really dark and scary, and I'm going to investigate. I'm not going to go and think I'm this logical person because I've never experienced it. So I'm just going to assume that it doesn't exist because I haven't experienced it. I mean, I know there's so many people on the world, right? We know the muggles who enjoy letting everyone know that things don't exist because they're afraid to even find out for themselves. Bless their dear hearts. We are here to be shepherds and hold space for the muggles. Okay? The thing is, when it comes to magic, when it comes to power, when it comes to sorcery, wizardry, and all of these things, which is basically God's power, right? And you can put every name you want on it. It is very necessary for us to allow information to move through. And if we need to go into it, we journey into it with an open heart, without our ideas and our opinions and our what we think we know, and we journey into other worlds that other people may open doors for us to journey into. That's how you truly understand shamanism as this amazing journey. Have you ever read the book, The Alchemist? This is a perfect example. The Alchemist was such a beautiful book, and I don't want to do a spoiler alert, because it really tells about journey and what journeys, and when we accept the journey, when we say yes to the adventure, when we say yes to it, we actually begin to how do you say, to expand ourselves in ways that we never thought could be possible. And that's why we all need each other, right? Okay, so when we talk about the bowl, we really want to honor the bowl. The bowl is a very sacred place. Now, when women are pregnant, and I always like to say it's important for them to do sounding with their bowl, which is basically taking two crystals that are very smooth and putting some kind of ghee or not olive oil, but coconut oil. Thank you, spirits. I love you. Coconut oil on the stomach, and making circles on the right and left side of the stomach by making a sound like or ah, or ooh, and that way the baby inside that's forming is getting this imprint of frequency and energy spinning around, creating higher vibrations of light frequencies into the baby. So when the baby comes out and you make those sounds when the baby's in the crib, you're actually opening up conscious power in that baby. And literally, I've shared with women who've been pregnant and they've done it. And now when their kid starts crying and they make those sounds, the kid just goes into this deep knowingness. It's really beautiful. So there's all these really cool shamanic things that you can do with the bowl if you're, for instance, if you're pregnant. But just for those who aren't pregnant and who are here today on 30 Days Strong, let's talk about something that's very important. And there's going to be a lot of classes about the bowl because the bowl has so many usages that are so powerful that you will remember, because that's what you're doing, is remembering. Is so cool because the first thing we have to understand about the bowl is literally opening up and decompressing the bowl. And that's what today's class is about. And the reason why we want to decompress the bowl is because if your bowl is hard and it bounces back at you, that's because you don't have a soft bowl. That means you have parasites. Now, let me explain to you what a parasite is. A parasite is an entity spirit that is brought in from the underworld, from the darkness, to go into your body and create disruption within your energetic field. And when a parasite gets inside of your body, it can create all types of situations. It can limit your frequency towards creating prosperity, limit your frequency from creating love, limit your frequency from creating optimized health, limit your frequency from allowing you to feel safe and connected and grounded, so everything is upsetting you and agitating you and making you have high levels of anxiety, stress. It can elevate your feelings towards pathogens. So for instance, if you have so many parasites in your bowl, okay, you will be more susceptible to pathogens and different viruses and bacteria. And you'll constantly feel like you're always getting sick no matter how many times you drink this or do that or do all this preventative medicine, because it's a parasite inside of your bowl. And that's the first place the spirits like to drink from and eat from, when they're from the underworld and the darkness, is because they want to get into your bowl. Because why? Because your bowl holds the powerful energies that spirit pours into. So whenever spirit pours into you, it pours into two major regions, which is one, your bowl, and two, your heart. So in shamanism, we understand that the bowl has to always be cleansed, protected, acknowledged, and kept in that very beautiful space, because these parasitic energies that are in the spirit world will see that you have so much energy built up and you are not cleaning and decompressing your bowl. Now, what the physical effects of not having a balanced bowl is bad microbiome, right? Right? Your stomach is not creating healthy gut. So again, that affects your brain, that affects your thinking, because your bowl and your brain are connected. So whenever, like for instance, if your bowl is clean, your mind is clean. It's a really powerful thing. And when I learned it when I was a kid, it was like, oh wow, that's pretty amazing. Like when I clean my bowl, my head and my mind and my consciousness is so expanded. It's like, whoa. It's actually better than that. It's like, whoa, whoa, well, yeah, something like that. But like maybe it's like a transcending sound, like, whoa. You got my point. The point I'm making is that literally your bowl can lead to all types of health problems, emotional problems. When people have like anxiety or they never let go of emotion, it's because their bowl is holding too much parasitic frequency, that they're holding everything inside, right? Okay, good. So now, yay! Okay, I get so excited. I just try to laugh a little bit. I get so excited. Sorry, I'm like a big kid. I'm a big kid when I'm sharing things. It's just like, you're right. Okay. You should see me when I'm in heaven. Like I'm like, my wings start going, like yeah, it's a whole nother thing. But the point I'm making is this: the bowl, which is this powerful place within your human body, has all of everything you need in order to be so powerful in your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, and your physical levels when your bowl is clean. So the first thing you're going to do is feel around. You're going to do, feel around your bowl. Like go in and feel. Is it bouncing back? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it palatable? You're going to feel where the hardness is where the parasitic energies are, right? So you're just going to feel those areas and see, oh, yeah, there's some stuff in here. Needs to get that out. Ooh, that's not good, right? So we want to get that parasite out of there. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them. We're going to get them. And no, I am not the Tiger King. Okay, I just love country stuff. Okay, so again, you're gonna fill into those areas and go into those places, right? Now, the reason why parasites get into your body, they get into your body because you think and use your power against yourself. That means that when you are operating for you and for the presence of you being that you are this amazing, powerful being, the moment you begin to think against yourself, speak against yourself, accept some nonsense that someone said against you, and you took it personally, all of that weakens your bowl. Okay, when you are not acknowledging who you are, because this is a weak point if you keep putting yourself down. Like people who I know who come to me and say, Derek, I can't, this doesn't move in my life, and this thing isn't moving in my life. And I said, it's because you've used your power against yourself so many times that the parasites are just filling up in your body, and now we have to clean it out. Like I had a situation yesterday with one of my how do you say, colleagues, right? I don't want to say students, because that's even like not the best way to say it. I want to say colleagues. Yeah, so one of my colleagues, right, I was helping him to release these parasites, and he literally was throwing up in a trash can over and over while his wife was watching. That's because he had a lot of parasites that were affecting his ability to create prosperity, to step into that place of alignment with himself, to draw things to himself, because your bowl gives off magnetic energy. I'm going to say it again. Your bowl gives off magnetic energy. And if that magnetic energy is being usurped by parasitic energies, you can imagine how well you're manifesting and creating in your life as a creator. Okay. So one of the symbols, let's see if you can see it. And then you're gonna, and now remember, this is because I'm where I'm at. It's actually gonna be, it's this way. So literally, it's this, it's this. Then you go down like this, and then you go boom, boom, or you can go boom, boom. And this is a symbol that activates the decompression and cleansing of your bowl. Okay. So again, it's like this. You go down, you swirl, and you hit one dot, and you say activate the healing code to unlock and clear parasites, poisons, energies that are affecting my bowl, and bring it out of my body through my mouth, through my throat, through swallowing, yawning, coughing, or clear it out any which way it needs to clean out. So what you're actually doing is giving permission for the elders. Now let me explain to you what elders I'm speaking about. All of the elders who are operating in the field of healing, that means all the tribal elders of this time who are on the other side, the ones before in the old world of Pangea, any ancestors that have been known to use healing will step in, or who ones who've been there to support you and becoming greater in your powers. Any nature spirits that have the ability to bring healing to you, all of them, yes. And you draw that symbol in the air. And remember, as I taught you in some of your other shamanic classes, right, for your remembrance, you draw the symbol with a sound or breath, and you see brightness color when you do it. And when you activate that, you can lay down or sit in a chair. I always say lay down because it's nice to have your bowl not so activated, and breathe, and don't close your eyes no matter what. Now, I'm going to explain to you why. If you have a nasty parasite that has been sitting there because it's been passed down from your family members, in your bloodline, this type of parasite will want you to fall asleep. It will make you tired. Like you know, the joke I used to always say to my colleagues who were remembering with me is that they would literally. It was like, I don't know if you ever seen Wizard of Oz, yeah, Wizard of Oz. And before Dorothy gets to the witch puts a sleeping spell on them, and they fall asleep in this field of poppies. Okay, well, you'll know that you have a parasite that's been passed down through your lineage, because the moment you go to read a book, or the moment you go to grab any information that could get their energies out of your system, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to be listening, fall asleep. You're going to meditate, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to do anything that has to do with cleansing them out, and you are going to fall asleep. And it's not like a sleep, you're just going to zone. It's going to be like you want to go to sleep. It's going to feel so So when you activate this energy, you are stepping into a place where you are allowing yourself to move into truly confronting that spirit and getting it out. And so utilizing it. So I'm going to show you again. It's my book of shamanic symbols and medicines. So you can see. Let's see. Make sure everyone in unblur my background. Okay, so everyone can see the symbol. Yeah. So it's, and then activate, clean out the parasites out of my bowl, pull all the energies that are causing imbalance in my bowl, and release them out of my system. You can even just say that. You don't even have to say out of my mouth. It'll just come where it needs to come out. And what I encourage you all to do, okay? And remember, you're remembering all of these things. And you can use this on any, yes, you can. And you can practice with it is really to remember. Remember, the only reason why I ask you to practice is to jog your memory, to jog your memory. And that's really amazing, okay? And it's called bowl, like a bowl. You know, when you have a bowl and you eat soup out of? Yeah, it's a bowl. And so literally, I would love for you all to practice for your remembrance, and then tell me what happened. Send me a message on Instagram in my DMs. Send. I want you to tag 30 Days Strong. You know, let people know, even if they haven't been invited to 30 Days Strong, there's still time for them to level up themselves and learn so much. And you can also go back and look at previous episodes on KNEKT TV, and that's on Roku and Apple Television. And I so much love you and know that you are a powerful being and that you will do great things with this knowledge and everything, because it's yours. It doesn't belong to me. Remember, it's just, I'm just laying it in front of you and asking you a simple question, which is, do you remember this? That's it. So nothing is mine. It's all of ours. And that's the great thing about spiritual, is that we are all connected and we're all together. So I'm never going to withhold any information for you that's going to help you to better your lives and increase your lives and enhance your lives, to recognize that you are an amazing, powerful being. I love you so much. Send me your videos. I love the videos so I can repost them. And I will see you all tomorrow. And if you like what you hear, go and check out Ancient Wisdom Today podcast and get more amazing information from some amazing, beautiful people. I love you all so much. Life is wonderful, and I'm so happy we're in this together. So, again, have a beautiful, beautiful day and celebrate you. Bye.